What's up everybody, it's Igo, and today I'm going to be talking about my Nintendo E3 2021 predictions. If you're new to the channel and enjoy RPGs and Nintendo content, consider subscribing. Alright, so right out the gate, the first thing I want to cover is, will we see a Nintendo Switch Pro in 2021? This has been called many different things. Some people like to call it the Super Nintendo Switch, which I actually kind of like the name of more because it kind of fits like with the NES line and the Super NES, but I don't think we're gonna see a Nintendo Switch Pro in 2021, or especially not an announcement about it at this E3. E3 is generally more software based, so they're gonna be talking about more games rather than hardware. And if we take a look at Nintendo's tweet that they put out the other day about the Direct and then the Treehouse Live, they said they were going to be talking about software. If I read it off specifically here, tune in for a hashtag Nintendo Direct with roughly 40 minutes of info focused exclusively on Nintendo Switch software. That word exclusive there is really important. Exclusively Nintendo Switch software. I feel like this is them priming us to not be expecting a Nintendo Switch Pro at E3. I think they're really going to be covering a lot of different software, and I'm going to get into what software I think we're going to see now. Especially with that Nintendo Treehouse Live, I think one of the things we're going to see is the Zelda remake. Oh my goodness, what is it? It's the one I didn't play, Skyward Sword. We're going to see the Skyward Sword remake. I haven't played Skyward Sword before, so I'm going to pick it up for the Switch, and I'm excited to play through that game. And some of the other games I think we're going to see, let's talk about a big one that's literally been talked about since the game came out. And that's Breath of the Wild 2. So when Breath of the Wild came out, it got Game of the Year, it took the world by storm, it was just absolutely amazing. But when we got that trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 a couple of years ago, that was all we got. That is the only information we've had about that game, is that it's in development. That's it. And so not getting an announcement about this game is putting a lot of people on edge, like, well, is it now? Are they going to do it later? Are they going to do it for the Nintendo anniversary of Zelda, the 35th anniversary, or 30th, whatever it was this year, I forget. And they, of course, said due to COVID, they weren't able to do certain things. I'm probably going to get demonetized just for using that word. The chance of us seeing a Breath of the Wild 2 announcement is highly likely, and I feel like it's not going to be called Breath of the Wild 2. It's probably going to be like Blank of the Wild or Wild of the Blank, something along those lines for the name of the game. So I'm very excited to see that at E3, hopefully. Now, some of you have been following this channel for a long time know that I really enjoy 2D platformers. And another game we may possibly see at these announcements is Metroid Prime 4. As many of you know, if you are Metroid fans, the game was actually completely built, and then unfortunately the developers looked at it and said, hey, this isn't a very good game. We're not going to release this because it's just not worth y'all's time. And so they rebuilt the game from the ground up, and so seeing some news about that game would also be really, really cool, as I'm a really big Metroid fan. Another big title that I'm expecting to see out of Nintendo at this E3 is going to be the Pokemon remakes. I was super hyped for the Diamond and Pearl remakes. I made a video about that. When they first released it, I'll put a card up top. I'm really excited to see those games. I think we're going to get an announcement, because we recently got the release dates for those games. I don't remember what those are off the top of my head. I'll throw them up on screen. So it's Pokemon. Y'all know what it is. It's going to be just something that's there at E3 that's probably going to be announced. Something I think that's going to be a little more interesting from the remakes, though, is Pokemon Arceus, with the open world Pokemon, which is, it's got this almost Breath of the Wild-ish vibe just because it's Nintendo and it's on the Switch and it's open world and it's outside. But I'm really excited to have that Pokemon experience where it's just completely different Pokemon game, right? Like, you're going out and physically having to throw those balls to catch the Pokemon, as if you were playing like Pokemon Go almost, right? So you go out about your day and you try to swipe to get the Pokemon caught. This is very different from the OG Pokemon that I grew up playing on the Game Boy, where, you know, it's top down and you have the random encounters and then you throw the ball. And that's good and great, I loved it. But I'd like to see something new from Pokemon, of course, because some of the big complaints with the Pokemon games is, well, they just keep remaking the game. Whose fault is that, guys? We're the ones who keep asking them to do these remakes, which is why they keep doing it, and it makes them lots of money. I do like what they did with the Diamond and Pearl remakes, though, with top-down view. I think that's really cool. It's just really nostalgic, and I do honestly kind of prefer the top-down OG Pokemon vibe over the 3D Pokemon like we had in Sword and Shield, which is kind of contradictory to what I just said with Arceus, but Arceus is kind of special just because it's very different, and so I'm very excited to pick up that game, and I'm hoping we get some news about the game, maybe some new information or just something that would be interesting to see. I've seen a couple of different creators talk about a new Mario Kart game, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think we're gonna see a new Mario Kart game. Mario Kart 8 just keeps beating itself sales number-wise every single year, and it's in the bundles with the Switch, right? So it just, that game keeps selling and selling and selling, and so there's no real reason for Nintendo to go out of their way to make a new Mario Kart game and compete with themselves and compete with Mario Kart 8. Now, obviously, if they make the new game, people may be more likely to buy it as it is the new game, right? But then, because you have two Mario Kart games on the same system, people may be trying to choose which one to choose between, and at the end of the day, Nintendo still wins, right? Because you're still buying their software. But it's just extra energy that I don't think they necessarily need to expend going out on a game. Now, I'm going to get into some games that are extremely unlikely to see and extremely unlikely for us to get any news about, but me being the Igosaurus Rex that I am and the giant Xenoblade fan that I am, as many of you know on this channel, with my playthroughs, my tutorials, and things like that, I love this series so much, and I'd love to see something from Monolith at this E3 this year from Nintendo. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think that Monolith right now is ready to release something again. For those of you who have been following this channel, I recently made videos about Xenoblade X and a possible Xenoblade 3 and a possible Xenoblade X2. And I discussed all my talking points of whether or not I thought those games would be likely or not. And I'll just kind of summarize it here. If you want to go watch the full video for that, I'll put it up in a card up top, if I remember to. So, if Monolith were to announce something now, it's not going to be Xenoblade X. I want a Xenoblade X so badly, but I don't think it's going to be Xenoblade X. It is most likely going to be an all-new Xenoblade game, such as a Xenoblade 3. So if we do see something from Monolith, that's what it's going to be. I really hope we see something from them, but it's unlikely. So cross your fingers, but don't be disappointed if you don't see anything from them, because we weren't expecting it in the first place. Now, I am going to be live streaming my reaction to this Nintendo E3 the day it's happening. You can find me on Twitch and join me there for it. I'll also post that live stream on YouTube several hours later. That way y'all have access to it here. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll catch you in the next video. Okay, I just want to make a super quick note. I do apologize for not posting in a really long time. I had to have surgery, and then my motherboard and my computer died, and so I wasn't able to post for a really long time, so I do apologize for that. Videos now will be coming out much more frequently. Also, this video was kind of put together quickly. It's my first video back, so thanks for watching, everybody. I love you guys.